Good afternoon. Please be seated. Welcome to the Class of 2021 Commencement Ceremony. My name is Bill Wingler, and I am the principal of Strongsville High School. Yes, I'm the person that sent you 1,200 emails this year. Joining us this afternoon are very proud parents, guardians, grandparents, and other family members. Seated with our graduates are our dedicated educators, including teachers, guidance counselors, monitors, aides, and other staff members. Additionally, we have our assistant principals, Mrs. Susan Harb, Mr. Eric Castle, and Mr. Sean Collins. Those who are seated up here to support student achievement are immensely proud of the class of 2021 and the difficult road they have traveled to get to this day. In addition, I am pleased to introduce the dignitaries seated on the stage. Our Superintendent, Dr. Cameron Ryba, Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Jenny Pelko, our Treasurer, Mr. George Anagastu, our Board of Education members, President Mr. Richard Miko, Vice President Mrs. Laura Wolfhausen, Mrs. Michelle Bissell, Mrs. Sherry Buckner-Salee, and Mr. Seth Roberts. Our Senior Class Advisor, Mrs. Jen Orlowski. I'd also like to acknowledge the following for their contributions to our senior class. The Strongsville Police Department, Mr. Scott Benson, our senior singers, enlisted students or students planning to enlist. Your class quote is "Go into the world and do well," but more importantly, "Go into the world and do good" by Minor Myers Jr. This is an appropriate quote for this class to live by, as they have certainly left their mark on Strongsville High School. At the high school, our motto is excellence in academics, the arts, and athletics. Parents and guardians, our school board, and the Strongsville community, I want to fill you in on exactly what the class of 2021 has done up to this point to exhibit excellence in areas of academics, arts, and athletics. Would the members of the following groups please stand when I call your name? Any senior receiving an honors diploma, please stand. Thank you. Any member of the National Honor Society, the Polaris Center Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, Rho Kappa, Art National Honor Society, the Spanish Honor Society, the German Honor Society, or the French Honor Society, please stand. Thank you. Any student receiving recognition as a National Merit semifinalist, finalist, or winner, please stand. Thank you. Any DECA member who qualified for state competition, please stand. Thank you. Any DECA member qualifying for national competition, please stand. Any member of the mock trial team, please stand. Thank you. Any student receiving an associate degree or double degree from a participating College Credit Plus program, please stand. Any member of our Girls National Champions soccer team, please stand. Thank you. Any member of our Regional Winning Girls basketball team, please stand. Any member of our state qualifying swimming and diving team, please stand. Any member of our regional qualifying boys or girls cross country team, please stand. Any member of our state qualifying boys golf team, please stand. Any member of our state qualifying gymnastics team, please stand. Any member of the district qualifying wrestling team, please stand. Any member of our regional qualifying girls lacrosse team, please stand. Any member of our district qualifying softball team, please stand. Any member of our regional qualifying boys or girls track team, please stand. Any member of our state qualifying dance team, please stand. Any individual receiving recognition as All-District, All-State, or All-American in athletics, please stand. Any individual receiving an athletic scholarship, please stand. Would the members of our choir, band, or orchestra which received a ranking of excellent or superior at state competition, please stand. Thank you. Any individual earning a scholarship in the arts, either locally or through a university, please stand. Any member of student council, please stand. Any member of the Key Club, please stand. So I'm only going to stop now because otherwise we'll be here till about 10 o'clock tonight. But obviously, as you see, these young men and women in the front of you today have been busy leaving their mark on the high school, this community, and as they head out into the world. As you move on to the next chapter in your life, don't forget the lessons you've been taught by your parents, teachers, coaches, advisors, and other role models in your life. These lessons will serve you well and will allow you to continue leaving your mark. Congratulations to the class of 2021. It has truly been my honor to be your principal this year. Will the members of the SHS choir please join me on stage? I'm going to do it at the end. At this time, if you were able to please rise for the presentation of the colors, courtesy of the Strongsville Police Department Color Guard. Singing the national anthem in alma mater for our senior members are our senior members of the Strongsville High School Choir.
Oh,
In honor of Memorial Day, if you are a veteran or you are currently serving in our audience, can you please stand? Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce your Student Council President, Ms. Marquis Globokar.
All right, hello. As Mr. Ringler mentioned, my name is Marquis Globokar, and I was the class of 2021 Student Council President. Carpe diem. In Latin, it translates to seize the day, which means taking control of what lies ahead of you and making the best out of your situation, no matter what challenges you may encounter. It's the shortened version of a longer phrase that emphasizes how you never know what tomorrow will bring. Even though the future of tomorrow is unknown, your actions today can make a difference. I believe the way that you overcome challenges today will indicate what kind of a person you will become tomorrow. During my freshman year, I joined the cross-country team. For those of you who don't know, training for cross-country begins in the dog days of summer and involves running anywhere from 20 to 40 miles a week in preparation for a 5K or 3.1 mile race. Now, I'm sure some of you think I'm crazy and can't understand why anyone would run that much unless someone was chasing them. But for me, I came to love this sport, especially because of my teammates. Unfortunately, I experienced a hip injury that prevented me from running, but I was not going to let this setback prevent me from doing what I loved. So I dedicated myself to becoming stronger and increasing my flexibility. When I encountered this injury, I could have decided to give up running, but instead, I chose to take control of my life and face this issue head on. As the class of 2021, we were forced to encounter numerous challenges. This year alone, we spent half of the year interacting with our classmates and teachers behind a screen, smiling with our eyes because our mouths were covered by masks, and adapting to several new learning environments. The barriers that were placed in front of us when our society was under lockdown made it difficult to bond with friends and stay connected. Teachers tried their best to educate us through computers, but we were ultimately forced to take learning into our own hands. We developed as students, became more comfortable with technology, and utilized the resources around us. Despite all the adversity we faced, we climbed over those barriers that this pandemic built, and I believe that there's nothing we can't handle. The fact that we are here today is a testament to our resilience, hard work, and dedication to overcoming adversity, and I believe our experiences will ensure success in the future. As a class, we took advantage of every opportunity we had to make this year the most memorable and made the best out of our situation. We truly seized each and every day with the help of those around us. That being said, I want you to think of all the people who have helped you get to this very point. Maybe you start thinking about your teachers, friends, or family members. People who encouraged and supported you along the way, such as your coaches who pushed you to your limits, advisors who provided you with guidance, or friends who always made you smile. No matter who you thought of, the main point is that there are so many people who have impacted your life thus far. People who helped you overcome adversity and become the person you are today. For me, those people were athletic trainers who provided me the tools to succeed, my coaches who challenged me daily, my teammates who acted like my second family, and most of all, my parents who always supported me. All their help led me to become a successful cross-country runner. It took me almost 3 years to overcome my injury and finally have a healthy season in which I qualified to regionals. My hip injury had a major impact on my course of self-discovery, and it resulted in the development of my strong work ethic. Part of me is glad that I encountered this challenge because it helped me develop into the person I am today. Now, Today is officially your last day as a high school student. And in addition to congratulating everyone, I would like to wish all of you good luck as you embark on your journey ahead. No matter which path you take, you are bound to encounter challenges, and how you choose to overcome them will dictate what your future will look like. I always try to look on the bright side. When I see a challenge, I see it as an opportunity to become better, and I hope that all of you will recognize it as that too. Every challenge you have faced thus far has made you stronger and will set you up for success in the future. Throughout this year, we have learned that we are stronger together, and even when times get tough, we can be tougher. Overall, it has been an honor having the opportunity to speak in front of all of you. I know that each of you are capable of achieving great success if you take control of your life and choose to carpe diem, seize the day. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to invite Charles Lynn to join me at the podium. Charles is this year's Phi Beta Kappa recipient. Charles has been nominated by our staff as being the single student most worthy of recognition for outstanding scholarship, academic initiative, and total achievement. The Phi Beta Kappa recipient represents the collective judgment of professional teaching staff as the most scholarly of the senior students. As part of this recognition, Charles has been asked to address the class of 2021.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are we all doing today? Yeah, much better reaction than the first half. Don't tell them I said that. So, this will be my second time giving this speech, so you're either going to get a better version of it, or I'm going to fall asleep in the middle of it. As I sat down to rewrite this speech for the dozenth time, I really started to think about what I actually wanted to accomplish through my speaking. Should I greet everyone with a good afternoon or a what's up, guys? What if I sound too formal? What if I sound too informal? Am I going to sound dumb if I use contractions? Will Mr. Wingler come and pull me off stage for using slang? While these questions bounced around my head, I was struck by an epiphany. Who cares? In my previous 11 iterations of this speech, I was too concerned with how me and my words would be perceived and if my message would be profound enough. I wanted to sound intelligent and eloquent as I delivered an awe-inspiring speech with a generic motif of an optimistic future. But today isn't about me. It is about us, as a collective, gathered here today to celebrate our accomplishments up to this point. So, in honor of that, I will not bore you with rhetoric about the future being bright or having the determination to push past adversity. Instead, I want to talk about what you, my fellow classmates and graduates, have taught me over the past 4 years. Unquestionably, high school has been an arduous journey, and for many of us, one of self-growth, physically and mentally. Along the way, we have made unforgettable friendships and memories, all while running the gauntlet of homework, essays, tests, and projects. Now, I'm gonna be honest. Freshman year was weird. Back then, we would stress about things like where the bathrooms were, remembering our locker combinations, or not missing the bus. Life was simple. Or so it seemed at the time. In retrospect, things were much more complex as we tried to establish ourselves in a new environment amongst the titans who were upperclassmen. Moving on into our sophomore year, we were starting to settle in, discover ourselves and our friends. Everything seemed a little less daunting. At the midpoint of our high school journeys, we were comfortable, all geared up in preparation for the next 2 years, which would undeniably be the most exciting. Junior year, the year of GBED. G-B-E-D. Get better every day. Though this model devolved into something of a joke after hearing it for the 100th time in the first week, I believe these are genuinely good words to live by. As a class, we have embodied the spirit of GBED throughout our high school careers, steadily improving ourselves in all facets of our lives. And finally, we come to senior year. Senior year was also pretty weird, and it was also nothing like High School Musical 3. Due to unprecedented times and unusual circumstances, our senior year was far from typical. By the way, if I had $1 for every time I heard those phrases this year, I wouldn't have to work for the rest of my life. Despite these setbacks and hurdles, we persevered and made the best of our last year in high school. This perseverance is a testament to our determination as a class, which is best defined as an optimistic tenacity, an indication that we are ready for the future. So, what can we learn from this 4-year journey? Undoubtedly, we now possess the technical and academic proficiency to pursue higher education or join the workforce. After all, we will shortly be receiving a piece of paper that can reaffirm this. However, beyond all the English, history, math, arts, and science classes, there is so much more to take away from high school. In fact, the most important lesson I learned can be summed up in a quote from a classmate during English, which is ironic because I spent a lot of time zoned out in that class. But the quote went something like this: "You may have an explanation, but not an excuse." Let me say that again. You may have an explanation, but not an excuse. In today's society, we are going through a shortage, not of gold, gas, or even toilet paper. No, today we suffer from a shortage of empathy. Take a moment to consider this. Of the hundreds of people in this stadium, every person here lives a life as intricate and complex as your own. We all juggle our own everyday tasks, our own emotions, and our own thoughts. Our unique stories and circumstances are what set us apart from each other, yet it is our individuality that makes us all the same. The common denominator is that we are all different. We are all human. As we push forward in the future, it is crucial that we recognize our differences and view them not as signs of division, but of unity. We must wield empathy as a means to understand each other, to feel what others feel, to see the world from a new lens. We must let empathy become the driving force for progress, sparking innovation for the sake of humanity, free of selfish intentions. The true strength of humans lies in our ability to come together, to recognize, to understand, and to empathize. So, class of 2021, as we approach a limitless future, I ask of you this: find a purpose for life beyond yourself. Learn to care for another or many other lives as if they are your own. For the greatest contributions will be made when we live for each other. One last thing. In order to live out my dreams of being Troy Bolton, I will leave you with these words: once a Mustang, always a Mustang. Thank you.
Being presented with gold tassels today are students who are our top scholars for the class of 2021. These students have earned the academic right to represent the top 5% of their graduating class. As I call your name, will the top 5% please come forward to the center stage where our superintendent, Dr. Riva, will present you with your honor cord. I would also like that the parents or guardians stand when your child's name is called. Charles Lynn, Case Western Reserve University. Samantha McNabb, Clemson University. Jay Oswald, The Ohio State University. Alexander Sakalari, The Ohio State University. Krish Sangvi, The Ohio State University. Vardhan Shah, Stanford University. Merritt Tainer, The Ohio State University. Aaron Tochai, Johns Hopkins University. Ran Wei, The Ohio State University. Seth Welch, The Ohio State University. And Kevin Whitbread, The Ohio State University. Congratulations to our top 5%. You may be seated. Dr. Ryba and the members of the Strongsville City School Board of Education, it is my pleasure to present the class of 2021 for conferring diplomas. By the authority invested in my position by the State of Ohio and the Board of Education, I attest that those seated before you have completed all graduation requirements and are ready to receive their Strongsville High School diplomas. At this time, I present our Superintendent, Dr. Cameron Ryba.
Now, you thought you were getting close to getting your diplomas, didn't you? You get a, whoa. You're going to hear another speech from another person. Charles was so excited to hear my speech for the second time, he just walked out of the stadium. But trust me, I've saved the best for the 3 o'clock group, the M to Z group. We're so proud of you. And parents and family members and guardians, just want to say, after 15 months of being separated and socially distanced, it's so wonderful to have us all back together to celebrate the class of 2021. So on behalf of the Board of Education and all of our administrators, teachers, and staff, it is my distinct honor to celebrate you, the class of 2021. This is always a time to celebrate, but there's something a little extra special about this class. Who would have thought that 13 years ago, when you entered kindergarten, that you would spend the last year and a half of your school career in the midst of a pandemic? You endured uncertainty, the challenges and the roadblocks, while still rising above to be resilient. You have been adaptable as we went from remote learning to blended learning to in-person learning and back and repeated that all over again. You were innovative and found creative solutions when faced with uncertain challenges, and while others may have given in, you persevered. We have seen our students compete, including celebrating our girls' soccer team's state championship. We have enjoyed our students' performances in winter plays and spring musicals. We've been inspired by our musicians as we return to live concerts this spring, and we have been proud of the academic achievements of our students, even through the challenges of remote learning environments. All of you are to be commended and celebrated for what you've accomplished. We must also celebrate and recognize those that got you here today. Your teachers, your support network at school, your friends, your family, and most importantly, your parents. Your parents who did not sign up to be your teacher, but were called upon and jumped in to help support your learning during this past year. You know, a few weeks ago, I was scrolling through my newsfeed and I came across an article sharing common things that many of us have grown up hearing from our parents. Sayings such as, better late than never, or don't count your chickens before they hatch. Although we can latch on to these common catchphrases, some are just bad advice. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Seniors, so this is the audience participation point of the speech. So raise your hand if you've ever heard of a company called Kodak. Put your hands down, you're ruining the point of my speech. The point of my speech is, as you can see, nobody has heard of Kodak, because Kodak is one of those companies that, remember when you used to have cameras that you would put film in? Kodak made those, and you know what they said? They said, digital photography, that's a fad. It's gonna go away, it's not gonna be here. And they live by that mantra that if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's why they're on the verge of bankruptcy. But the real advice isn't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, find a way to make it better, make it faster, stronger, or more efficient. Or one of my favorites, if you find a career you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Now listen, I love my career, but trust me, it is still work. Maybe a more accurate statement is find a career you love, watch yourself gain 20 pounds, turn gray in your mid-40s, and have people ask you why you look exhausted all of the time. But these common phrases got me thinking about what advice does matter. What advice can help you as you look to start this new beginning in your life? You know, we probably all watched a lot of movies during the pandemic, and an older movie I watched with my kids was City Slickers, and in that movie there's one character that says, you know, the secret of life is just this one thing, but that one thing is what we have to figure out. As talented young people that are looking back on your school career and looking forward to this next phase of your life, you'll be searching for this one thing, the one thing that drives you and brings you fulfillment in your life. For many years in my life, that one thing may have been getting a degree, moving ahead in my career, making a little money, buying a house, or starting a family. It's not that these things are not important. You need to have goals, and it's good to be driven and set into action the plan to achieve your dreams so you can realize the life that you want to live. But if you become so focused on the next step, the next accomplishment, you may miss the wonder and joy that comes with each phase of your life. Brene Brown shares that joy is not a constant. It comes to us in moments, ordinary moments. Sometimes we miss out on those bursts of joy because we're too busy chasing the extraordinary. This is my one thing, the one thing that keeps me going through the ups and downs, the successes and failures, the quiet times, or in the midst of a pandemic, is to find joy in life, and to find joy even as this wind keeps on blowing your caps off across the field. So find joy in the moments. Today is a big moment, but the joy that will last from today may not be getting a diploma or the grad party that's in store for later this summer. But it will lie in that hug from a family member where you can feel their pride for you and what you have accomplished, the smile from someone you care about, or your parent that is most likely going to embarrass you sometime today by blowing an air horn or shouting your name as you cross that stage. That's where the joy is. Be present, be engaged, for it's these little moments that make a lasting impression and can be missed if we don't take the time to see them. Find joy in the grind. They say good things come to those that wait. Well, that's wrong. Good things come to those that are willing to do the things that others are unwilling to do. Those that are willing to embrace the grind. To achieve something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Find joy in the incremental progress and the satisfaction that the grind will allow you to achieve only what others dream. Find joy in being you. Today it seems like we are so focused on what makes us different, when we could focus on what makes us unique and special. Find joy in who you are, the beautiful parts, the quirky parts, and the parts that need some work. The only like that matters is liking you for who you are and what you offer this world. And finally, find joy in the journey. Sometimes we're so focused on the destination that we fail to enjoy the road along the way. I know to all of you, I seem like this old guy up on stage talking, but it feels like just yesterday I was sitting in your chair, and the most popular question I got over and over was, what are your plans after high school? And I would give my standard answer, but deep down, I really didn't have a clue. I switched majors a couple of times and eventually found my focus. That path led me to travel Europe and the United States as a musician. It led me to find my wife, which led to 2 beautiful children. And it led to a fulfilling career with opportunities that I couldn't foresee at 18 years of age. You don't have to have it all figured out now. Find joy in the winding road and where it leads you, as long as that road eventually leads you out of your parents' house. So class of 2021, you have been challenged in your final years of school, but it has been your ability to stand up, to view these challenges as opportunities that has set you apart and makes your experience unique and memorable. This last year may not have followed the playbook we would have all hoped it would cap off your senior year, but it is because of you and your focus of what is possible versus what was lost that makes today a special day, a joyful day. Graduates, I wish you the very best that life has to offer, and hope you find joy in the moments, the grind, in being uniquely you, and the journey in turning your dreams into a reality. At this time, it is my privilege to introduce board member Ms. Sherry Buckner-Salee. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ryba. I feel like I've been through these last 13 years with you. I was there on your track and field days in elementary school. I bought your Girl Scout cookies. I have attended your band, orchestra, and choir concerts. I cheered at your sporting events and watched you cheer at events and enjoyed your theater performances. You could say I've been stalking you, and you wouldn't be the first person to say that. After all, I have kids of my own, and I've been accused of stalking. And now, after all these years together, I have the honor and privilege of speaking with you on your final day of high school and watch you transition to the next phase of your life's journey. I'm very impressed by your accomplishments and so proud of you. But as much as you've accomplished in these 17, 18, and 19 years that you've lived, you have so much more to learn and accomplish. This is not your last hurrah. I wish I can pour into you all of the best of what I know and what I've learned throughout the years and guide you safely through the pitfalls of life. But unfortunately, that isn't how life works. And even if I had the ability to point out all the landmines, you probably wouldn't listen to me anyway. How do I know this? I know this because I had many people in my life who I now know gave me good advice, but since I knew everything when I was 18, I didn't listen. That is how it is. We have to live our own lives and chart our own paths. We have to fail sometimes badly, but we must get back up and try again. That's the only way to grow and find success. J.K. Rowling, who had her own struggles before she authored the successful Harry Potter book series, said, and I quote, "It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default." Do not live life so cautiously that you fail by default. You will experience setbacks, and you will fail if you choose to bravely spread your wings and set your goals high. But you also need to have the ability to get back up and dust your shoulders off and continue on. That is resilience. And by the way, resilience isn't something that you either have or don't have. You can strengthen that resilience muscle with practice. When you encounter problems with your coworkers or face difficult situations, instead of throwing up your hands and running away, make the decision to face your problems head on, thus sharpening your resilience muscle. When you're in college and taking that advanced accounting class, resilience will be your best friend if you can embrace it and understand that resilience, the ability to adapt well in the face of adversity, will help you reach your goals. But I know you all have resilience because you're here. You're the class that spent your senior year battling a pandemic. During that time, you continued to endure and move forward. All things considered, we had a kick-butt year, winning accolades in academics, athletics, and community service. You did not allow this to beat us, and we persevered for a resounding victory against this unrelenting foe. The victory is obvious as we are here today with loved ones sharing this great accomplishment together. I have this quote stenciled on a wooden frame on my nightstand. The quote is from the movie The Help, and the main character, Abilene, tells one of the children in the home where she works this quote: "You are kind, you are smart, you are important." And she told the child that regularly to build her self-esteem. I hope you know that you are smart, and you are inherently kind, and you are most certainly important. Sometimes we obsess about comparing ourselves to others, which is easy to do if you're on any social media platform. I know I do. Like, ooh, Jennifer does this and does that, and I'm sitting here watching my second Lifetime movie for the day. I need to up my game. But often we're comparing the worst of ourselves to the best in others. We're comparing ourselves before toothpaste and a washcloth to their hours in a makeup chair. And like Theodore Roosevelt has been attributed with saying, comparison is the thief of joy. You are here to run your own race. I love watching track. I'm not a runner, but I love watching it. And in track, you are often racing against your own PR, your personal record. If you measure yourself against your own personal best, then you won't need to look at what your neighbor or friend has. You can look to your own goals to determine how close you are to the life that you desire. We start at different points and have different struggles, and we find our strides at different times in life. Don't be discouraged if someone is accomplishing their goal at a faster pace than you are. Remember, comparison is the thief of joy. I wish you all understood that you are valuable and your voice matters and you deserve to be heard. I know some of you already know that because I've seen you come to board meetings and share your thoughts. Sometimes we look at a person's position or title or the way they may exude confidence, and we lose our own confidence. You've heard the expression, having a seat at the table. We all have a seat at the table in our homes, our work, and our communities. We just have to use our voice. Once you acknowledge the power of your own voice, then you can use your voice to change the complexion of the space where you go to school, where you work, and where you live. Use your voice to make a positive difference in your spaces. It can be simply offering a kind word to your fellow classmates or coworker. You can change a wrong that's happening in your school or work just by using the power of your voice. Sometimes everyone is seeing the same thing, and there needs to be one person that stands up and speak up against it. Let that person be you. Have the courage to use your seat at the table to make a difference. I want you to know that it's your responsibility to go out into this world and craft a life for yourself. Design your life as if you're creating an avatar in a video game. You know those games where you create an entire community. You can design your home and street and all that. Where do you want to live? What do you want your house to look like? Who will be your friends? What occupation will you have? Feel empowered to create the life you want to live. And when someone creates a beautiful life for themselves, that doesn't diminish the opportunities you have to have a beautiful life. It is not a zero-sum game. There's room for all of us to be fulfilled and happy. We need every one of you to reach your fullest potential. That will be your most significant contribution to society. And when you become the very best version of yourself, you make room for me and all of us to be successful. To be your authentic self, unapologetically. When you do that, you breathe life into your dreams, and your contribution may be the spark and inspiration for someone else who dreams. And in making your dreams a reality, don't forget to reach back and help someone else. Each one, teach one. As you enter the next phase of your life, remember the lessons of your parents. The most valuable lessons you learn from your parents, coaches, and teachers are before first grade. If you practice these, you will earn the respect of your peers. When you fall down, get back up and try again. Be kind and respectful. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. Be a leader. Have the courage to use your seat at the table to make your community a better place. Don't compare yourself to your neighbor. Design a life that comforts your soul. As you're striving to reach your goals, reach back and encourage someone else. Exhibit good sportsmanship. Win and lose gracefully. There is no passion to be found in playing small and settling for a life less than the one you're capable of living. That was Nelson Mandela. When you're running this race of life, give it all you got. Do what you would do if you thought you wouldn't fail at anything. Put yourself out there as if you knew you were loved by everyone. You are ready to fly. I have the highest expectations for this class. I expect this group to accomplish great things. Farewell, class of 2021. Best of luck to you. Thank you.
Audience, the graduates request that you refrain from applause or comments until each individual has received his or her diploma. Please refrain from standing or leaving your seat to take photos or video. On behalf of the graduates, thank you in advance for honoring their request. At this time, I would like to call upon Mrs. Orlowski, Mr. Faust, Superintendent Ryba, and the members of the Board of Education to assist in the distribution of diplomas.
Samantha Emily McNabb.
Adam William Hartman.
Jenya Ujwal Oswal.
Devin Garrett Maddox.
Alexandru Sakilaria.
David Zurabovich Maglakalitze.
Krish Kalpesh Sangvi.
Madison Sage Magyar.
Vardan Tushar Shah.
Hussam Saeed Mahmood.
Marit Elizabeth Tainer.
Eli James Malcheski.
Aaron Toche.
Dominic Stephen Mancuso.
Run Nina Wee.
Garrett Evan Manny.
Seth Alan Welch.
Brooke Ann Marcinowski.
Kevin Robert Whitbread.
Nicholas Vincent Marenberga.
Amanda Ann Markovich.
Haley Lynn McVeigh.
Lauren Paige Martins.
Evan Joseph McVeigh.
Alexa Paige Martinez.
Daniela Viktorivna Melnichuk.
Gabrielle Marie Masola.
Marissa Faith Mendici.
Riley Ruth Mayberry.
Cameron Marie Merrill.
Louis Estevan Masonette.
Riley Elizabeth Matheny.
Tristan Connery McCran.
Ethan Hawk Meyer.
Matthew James McCullough.
Xavier James Meyer.
Tristan Marie McCutcheon.
Augustus Rebel Miller.
Ryan David McNay.
Bailey Lauren Miller.
Jordan Elizabeth Mingus.
Ibrahim N. Najjar.
Matthew Robert Minnick.
Lisa Maysoon Nasser.
Emily Carol Moore.
Aaron Matthew Noggle.
Jaden Anthony Morales.
Emma Rose Nicholson.
Kyle Marcus Mercurio.
Justin David Noble.
Manar Nadir Muhammad.
Leo Noche.
Matthew Arthur Muniak.
Sebastiano Xavier Noche.
Elizabeth Jane Myers.
Connor Joseph Norgrove.
Danielle Marie Northup.
Desiree Elizabeth Paro.
Nicholas Michael Northup.
Cody Allen Parrish.
Autumn Marie Offenberger.
Janki Mayhew Patel.
Alexandru Paul Olteen.
Margi Shalish Kumar Patel.
Lucas James Opasich.
Rohan Dirhaj Patel.
Victoria Nicole Oros.
Kyle Andrew Patrick.
Sydney Robin Ortenzi.
Ella Elizabeth Patton.
Molly Marie Pauline Ott.
Morgan Jean Pell.
Victoria Lee Palmer.
Brandon Vincent Pizzoni.
Daniel Park.
Gabriella Rose Presserin.
Kayla Leanne Perez.
Max Theodore Prock.
Konstantina Rose Pechoviak.
Nathaniel Francis Puma.
David Michael Pinkovich.
Morgan Chen Pahovich.
Emma Elizabeth Platten.
Gavin Nicholas Pyros.
Jack Patrick Platten.
Amani Ayad Kolak.
Alexander James Pogozelski.
Madison Nicole Carino.
Victoria Ann Papernak.
Shahid H. Carini.
Sarah Marie Romalia.
Zain I. Qureshi.
Mark Ruben Ramser.
Lauren Avery Radusky.
Ian Thomas Riscola.
Alexander Charles Rowley.
Austin Tyler Richardson.
Abraham Fozzie Sabay.
Faith Maria Ryder.
Shelby Denise Salee.
Serena Marie Rijos.
Ayad Musa Salti.
Sarah Laverne Robertson.
Shelby Marie Savage.
Nicholas Mark Radio.
Alexia Vittoria Scarvelli.
Christopher Michael Rodriguez Jr.
Jacob Atticus Schneider.
Alexandra Julia Scott.
Sarah Grace Schoenberger.
Amir Raphael Seeley.
Shane Robert Slokar.
Madeline Kathleen Seelong.
Morgan Riley Small.
Eliana Rose Sepik.
Haley Paulina Smith.
Rohan Sharma.
Lauren Elizabeth Smith.
Alfred Gerald Shaver.
Sebastian Thompson Smith.
Margaret Elaine Shea.
Matthew Peter Snell.
Samantha Lynn Sheets.
Madison Nicole Snyder.
Emily Taylor Shostak.
Cassandra Morgan Sonnabend.
Nadira Liana Siri.
Julia Marie Spicer.
Ryan Michael Steinberger.
Lindsay Michelle Stakar.
Jack Sidney Stevenson.
Andrew Martin Talpas.
Connor Isa Stredney.
Sam Bamerlin Thompson.
Matthew James Strompel.
Emery Rose Timmons.
Jessa Lynn Stiles.
Madison Masonu Tish.
Griffin Gallagher Such.
Liam Joseph Tokarski.
Saif Shadi Solomon.
Michael Dean Trepke.
Aiden Edward Sistersik.
April Marie Trimmer.
Allison Elise Saveda.
Autumn Marie Tursky.
Callista Rose Tilka.
Melanie Elizabeth Tyler.
Colin Reese Ulabari.
Zachary James Walters.
Michael Scott Vanderweest.
Caitlin Elizabeth Warner.
Olivia May Van Gelder.
Sophia Lillian Weber.
Isabella Grace Ventura.
Jacob Charles Weber.
Morgan Ruth Verbicki.
Justin Blake White.
Vince Charles Vasai.
Zachary Allen Whiteley.
Austin Blake Vinci.
Adriana Nicole Williams.
Evelyn Nicole Fozar.
Charles Coriel Williams IV.
Samuel Edwin Walters.
Taylor Marie Witherspoon.
Cameron William Wolf.
Zachary Michael Zonizer.
Chloe Christine Worthington.
Jaden Ryan Zaleski.
David Thomas Weiler.
Ryan Christopher Zamansky.
Sean Michael Wypasek.
Cameron Christopher Zalati.
Wissam Wasim Yagmore.
Zachary Michael Zoll.
Olivia Grace Yankello. Taylor Marie Yates. Hanan S. Zarab. And Anthony Jerome Zacharias.
We're definitely transitioning from how to avoid germs to how to avoid big rings when you fist bump. At this time, I'd like to introduce your senior class president, Emily Lytle.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily, the class president. Clearly, our senior year has not exactly been like the senior year we all grew up seeing in movies. When news of the pandemic first started going around, I don't think the majority of us realized the potential that it had to be so life-changing. I'm sure you all remember the day that we found out we would all be beginning spring break 1 week earlier due to news of the pandemic. For most of us, we were excited for the extra week off of school, yet we were oblivious to the tidal wave of obstacles that would make us wish to be back at school. For a portion of this year, a majority of us rolled out of bed, turned on the light, grabbed our Chromebook, and attended some of our classes before taking a field trip to our pantry for a snack. Our interactions with peers were turned into dreaded breakout rooms that immediately meant a group project. Our homes became our schools, our kitchens became our cafeterias, our bedrooms became our classrooms, and all of our lives changed. Whether for better or worse, each and every single one of us has become a different person since this day school became online. We watched last year's seniors, so excited for their promised grand finale to end their high school career, have everything come crashing down. We adjusted and worked our hardest to give them the celebration that they deserved. However, each and every single one of us wondered what it meant for the future of our final year. The school year started off with brand new challenges that none of us had expected to face. Getting kicked out of a Google Meet due to Chromebook problems, giving class presentations and having to screencast, struggling to find the best room to make your Wi-Fi connection the strongest, and most importantly, trying to keep up. Tests became harder, work doubled, a pandemic was affecting the world, and who would have thought there was a shortage of toilet paper? The important thing is we got through it and emerged stronger and more tech-savvy than before. Finally, we received news that we were allowed to go into school in person on designated days. Flurries of plans and discussions began as parents and teachers alike made decisions on the best way for us to learn in the adjusted learning situation. Green and white days, class on Fridays, whether to take the bus or be driven to school, and if the school would even have toilet paper. Now that we were allowed back into the school, what once felt like home became a foreign place that almost had a stiff and sterile feel to it. Social interactions were slow to begin. We had to memorize a new schedule, meet new teachers face-to-face again, and adhere to new guidelines of how close you were allowed to sit with your friends. We pushed through this, and finally, we were able to attend school all together once more. However, this brought forth even more challenges than before. We were not sure if the rooms could fit the same amount of students with desk distancing. Waking up every single day of the week, hallways now feeling claustrophobic, and the burdensome difficulty of finding a lunch table in the cafeteria so you didn't have to eat lunch in the middle gym. Sports were cleared to return, extracurriculars given the green light, and we were given a glimmer of hope once more. Adjustments, of course, were made. However, we were able to develop a new normal that was as close to our past as possible. In this time, many of us became what you would think to be esteemed lawyers or politicians, learning to push the boundaries to allow us to have a safe and memorable senior year. Everyone truly joined forces and generated so many adjustments to past events, not to mention created new opportunities to give us a chance to celebrate our hard work over the past 4 years. Each regained event from the past has become a victory, one step closer to proving that we can adjust to almost anything. senior superlatives, sports game spectators, Mr. Mustang, and in-person commencement, and our one last event as a class, prom. We have been able to take possibly the worst hand of cards dealt to us and turn it into something that each and every single one of us will never forget. Memories such as senior send-off, where we decorated our cars and drove throughout Strongsville, or going home to find a package delivered to you from someone who had adopted you on Facebook. This year may have been strange and unexpected, but from the help of each other, we have truly been able to make it the best that it possibly could be. Look around you. Would you have ever expected to be sitting here today in person with this many of your peers next to you to celebrate this momentous occasion? Would you have expected that in 1 week from now you will be dressing up, taking pictures, and going to prom? Most of all, would you have expected prom to be on the football field and catered by food trucks? Of course not, but that is what makes our class so special. Our resilience. Our final celebration of us together as a class at prom in such an unparalleled manner is the only way fit to close our unprecedented year. Sure, we may not get to wear heels, but that saves us from our feet hurting from walking in them. And sure, we may not get to enjoy a catered meal. However, who wouldn't want to get the style of meal that they want rather than the same stuffy, carbon copy meal that you would get at a regular prom? That is what makes us who we are. We are given obstacles to overcome, and we overcome them and add a spin to make it our own. We take every single adversity and learn from it, and use it to develop into something that breaks out of tradition and is just as much fun. Our class is undefinable. We are innovative, creative, and optimistic shapeshifters who roll with every single punch, and that is what makes all of us so special. After this day, we will separate, and some of us may never see each other again, until one of us open up our dusty yearbooks to show our grandchildren so that they can make fun of the way we do our hair and how we dress. But we will all take away one thing from this year and this school. We can do anything that we set our minds to, and we can face any adversity put in front of us. For one of the last times, we are a part of Strongsville High School, the place where we have grown from quiet and timid kids into adults hungry for a start in the world. For one final time, the class of 2021 is logging off. Please join me in the moment we have all been waiting for, the turning of the tassels. Let this symbolize the beginning of the rest of our lives. Would the class of 2021 please stand? And now, move the tassel from the right side over to the left. Congratulations, class of 2021! Thank you.
Thank you for coming to celebrate the graduates of the class of 2021. It has truly been my honor to be the principal here this year and see what these guys went through to get here. At this time, we're going to dismiss the members of the stage, and students, as stated earlier, you can follow once they're off. They will meet their families in the parking lot as we dismiss the graduates. Thank you, everyone. And I promise no more emails this summer.